I'm going to show how to make hot and spicy pickled eggs. Gather the following ingredients. When available, always use fresh produce. In my garden, I grow jalapenos, Tabasco peppers, and my favorite, serrano peppers. I prefer picking the serrano peppers once they've turned red, but this is all individual preference. Next, hard boil a dozen eggs and peel. Use your preferred method for this task. I prefer using an Instant Pot to hard boil my eggs. I soak them in ice water immediately after I take them out of the Instant Pot. This causes the egg to shrink down away from the shell, making them easier to peel. Set the peeled eggs aside and obtain a clean quart jar. With a fork, pierce each egg several times through the white down to the yolk. It's okay to skip this step, but I find it best for optimal saturation of the brine. Continue with each egg and pack them into the quart jar. Depending on the size of the eggs, you may not get all of them in there. Do your best to pack them down, leaving an inch of headspace at the top of the jar. Next, cut the stems off of the fresh peppers and slice them lengthwise. It's not necessary to remove the seeds. In fact, I believe they add a little extra spice to the brine. Also, make sure you wear gloves when cutting hot peppers. Next, in a saucepan on the stovetop, combine all the ingredients for the brine. Add in 2 tablespoons of pickling salt and 1½ cups of cider vinegar. As you add each ingredient, stir or whisk as you go along in order to dissolve the salt. Then, add a ½ cup of water, 1 tablespoon of minced fresh ginger, 1 tablespoon of whole mustard seeds, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 2 cloves of minced garlic, and finally, the sliced hot peppers. Bring the mix to a boil while occasionally stirring. Once the brine begins to boil, reduce the heat and simmer for 15 minutes. Then allow the brine to cool for about an hour. Once cooled, pour the brine over the eggs, making sure they are completely covered. I recommend using a canning funnel to keep the mess to a minimum. Then cap the jar with a lid and ring. Refrigerate for at least 1 week before eating to allow the eggs to absorb the brine and the seasonings. As long as they are kept in the refrigerator, they can be stored for several weeks. Enjoy them whole or cut them in half and add your favorite toppings. My favorite way to eat them is to top them with pepper slices and dust with serrano powder. Hot sauce is also a great topping.